95. And did you feel that gust of air coming in the press box?
It's beautiful, wasn't it? And there's another one.
We should keep a count. This is what, the fourth or fifth one this morning or this afternoon?
Merciful stuff.
Pandya once again to Wesley. Again outside the off stump, bit more shape than the last time. End of the over, it's 81 for 2.
That's Dinesh Karthik who's taken the gloves, isn't it, rather than Rishabh Pant?
Yes, that's Dinesh Karthik. He's the primary keeper in the test squad, so no surprises there, really.
How much of a surprise was it when Karthik got the nod when Riddiman Saha was ruled out?
Not much surprise. I think the surprise was more that Parthiv Patel did not make it to the test squad because he was the backup wicket keeper in South Africa. So I think that was more surprise, but I think the selectors also decided that Rishabh Pant, who's had a look at the conditions here on the tour of India A, you can't have, Karthik hasn't had too much batting on this tour. It was only the third time that he's batted today, or yesterday in fact. Today he just lasted one ball as Ishant Sharma bowls to Pepper. 2 slips, no gully now in position. There's a catching mid-wicket fielder. This time down the leg side, not much bounce again. As we're starting to see the ball keep a bit low, but Dinesh Karthik was up to the task, no run at it.
And how high are the hopes that Rishabh Pant could become India's long-term test wicket-keeper?
Oh, very high, very high. Like I said, like I told Dick earlier, I think everybody who's interested in Indian cricket, and that's almost everybody back home in India, I think everybody is watching how Rishabh Pant develops. I've had a few interactions with Chief Selector MSK Prasad. He said, and over the last few selection meetings, Rishabh Pant's name has cropped up again and again. Coming back to that in a moment as Sharma bowls to Pepper. Straying down back of length, straying down leg side. He's played it off his patch. Fielder at square leg. I think that's Karun Nair, or we'll have to wait. It feels like it's Karun Nair. Can't see in the distance, but he's come in quickly and just a single. Score moves on to 82 for 2. So he's been in the mix, he's been in the talks with the selectors and everything. But the selectors, every time there's a press conference or an informal chat, they want to take their time. He's just 19 or 20 years old, so there's a lot of cricket left to be played by him. So they don't want to rush him in any sort of manner because he is the long-term hope. Sharma once again to Wesley. This time straight down again on the middle and leg. The batsman just helping it along. There's Hardik Pandya present at fine leg boundary. Just a single, score moving along to 83 for 2. For the last couple of overs, we've seen Sharma predominantly straying down middle and leg. He started with that off-stump line, but now he's working his way down towards the leg side.
It gradually more wayward from Sharma. It looks like there's just a little bit of in-swing as well.
Could it be because of, I know it hasn't been too much breeze, but it has picked up since lunch a little bit. Once again, Sharma to Pepper. A bit of an inside edge onto his pad. That was outside the off stump. Again, the ball not rising too much. Or I should say, unlike it was with the new ball, it is 20 overs old now. In fact, 22 overs old. This is the 23rd over. Still 83 for 2.
It popped into my mind that maybe the ball was tailing into the right-hander because it was already showing signs of reversing, which would be incredibly early. But yes, the outfield and the square is so abrasive, it may not be out of the question.
Sharma once again to Pepper. This time coming in again to the batsman. He's on the front foot defense. You could be right, because it also explains that they have taken out the gully fielder and put him in a catching mid-wicket region. That's Ajinkya Rahane, the vice captain.
Certainly when James Anderson was part of the test match special team for the one-dayers, he was saying that he fully expected reverse swing to play a big part in these 5 test matches that were coming up because of the dry conditions, because the squares were so abrasive and the outfields were going to be so dry. So it might not just be spin that's a big factor over the next 6 weeks.
Sharma once again to Pepper, full delivery on the off and middle. He comes forward and defends it. It's the end of over number 23. It's 83 for 2. And yes, fully agreed with that. We have some great exponents in terms of both spin and pace. Adil Rashid, Moeen Ali, Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep. We can talk all day about spin with them, but well, you also have James Anderson, Stuart Broad, Ishant Sharma, a lot of experience there. You have Mohammad Shami, who's an all-round test bowler really. He can use the new ball, the old ball, really good with reverse swing. Umesh Yadav can move the ball as well. Jasprit Bumrah gets it off the seam.
And it's another reason why Ben Stokes is such a loss for England during the second test at Lords. Probably the paciest bowler in England's squad for the first test at least. An exponent of reverse swing.
Pandya continuing, 3 slips in position, this time Fuller outside the off stump. The batsman down on one knee and drives, but finds the fielder at, well, it's a difficult position to say. Is it third man which is up, or is it backward point which is deep? But Umesh Yadav was the fielder and he stopped the ball there.
I'm giving that a deep backward point, but not so deep.
Not so deep, yeah. He's not at the boundary.
Deepish backward point.
Yeah. Pandya once again from the haze end to Wesley. This time strays onto the middle and leg, and Wesley will be happy to take a single.
I think the fielders in the ring are slightly deeper because they've realised that if the ball gets past them, it's 4. They know that it's going to come quickly to them across the square, across the drier outfield. And so, if they're too close, they're not they maybe find it easy to stop the single. But there's much more chance of the ball getting past them. Once it is past them, there's no chasing it. So taking a few extra yards deeper in the ring, maybe preventing the boundary.
Pandya to Pepper, and a 4th slip has come in, so that is interesting to see. But fuller delivery, not much movement of the feet, and he's fended it off to the cover region, no run added. What do you make of that? As I should tell my listeners, or our listeners in fact, that the breeze has really picked up, my friend.
Yeah, we can see just in the distance that sycamore tree over long off. The branches just wafting with a little bit more gusto. When that tree starts moving, we know we're in clover.
Tree starts moving as Pandya runs in. This time outside the off-stump, back of limb, left alone. Any chance of rain?
Not at the moment.
Does that tree magically move and bring in some clouds for some respite at least?
I don't know, maybe Harry Potter style wizardry.
Need some wand magic.
No. Any rumour of rain? I did hear some chat about rain earlier on today.
Yeah.
I don't think that's arriving.
No, blue skies, so blue that we can see a plane flying in the distance, really high up. It's just not a cloud in the sky. And in fact, it is Karun Nair who's now standing at 4th slip. It's Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, Chinkia Rahane, and Karun Nair. 4 slips in position for Pandya.
And the long leg beneath us. I think it was potentially on Pepper. Pepper showed no specific weakness around about that off stump, but he is the junior partner, far more likely to give an edge to that split cordon.
Fuller delivery on the off stump this time, just driven to the fielder at extra cover. Ravindra Jadeja is the man. End of over number 24. It's 84 for 2.
Well, thanks, Cheaton. It's going to be replaced by Dick Davis. My name's Stefan Schemmelt. You're listening to us on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra and online with BBC Essex. Day 2 of this tour match between Essex and India. Essex 84 for 2 in reply to India's 395 all-outs. If you've only just joined us, India began the day on 322 for 6. They lost Dinesh Karthik for 82, Hardik Pandya for 51, Karun Nair for 4, Ravi Jadeja, the last man to go for 15, and Razar Pant was not out on 34. Since Essex began their reply, the openers Nick Brown and Varun Chopra have been LBW to Umesh Yadav and Ishet Sharma respectively. Brown made 11, Chopra 16. They were 45 for 2 at one point, but they've since moved on to 84 for 2. Tom Wesley has 40 and Michael Pepper 14. Umesh Yadav is coming into the attack from our river end. He's running away from us now, and he's into Wesley, who defends from the crease with a straight back. There are 2 slips, 4 slips really, 2 slips, then a gap, then the 4th slip. There's a point to cover a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, and a long leg. I think that's Ishant Sharma down there at long leg. Oh no, Sharma's here in fact at mid-on. It might be Hardik Pandya, who is surrounded by a group of youngsters all holding miniature bats and pieces of paper for him to sign. Yadav, in again, he bowls to Wesley outside the off stump. It scuttles through low on the second bounce to Dinesh Karthik, and there's no run. Score remains 84 for 2. Welcome back, Dick. Do you feel rested after your breather, or not particularly?
Not particularly, no. I mean, it's actually this with the current of air running through the box is one of the cooler parts of the ground. It's no, I went for a little walk, but no, I soon ran for cover.
Umesh, with his hair knotted at the back and bandages on each arm, he's in now again to Wesley, and once more that's outside the off stump, taken by Karthik. Yeah, we're blessed in that we've got a fan at the top corner of our box, so we've got cool air coming from the fan behind us, and every so often there's cool breeze coming in through the window. So you're right, Dick, it is. It's not, actually, I don't feel like it's too bad. I have sympathy with some of the spectators who are currently seated in the uncovered parts of the ground. It must be absolutely baking. Yadav pumps his arms towards Wesley, and once more that is outside the off stump, and Wesley leaves the ball alone. In the morning session we spoke about how there was 2 chaps to our right at the top of the Tom Pearce stand, sitting at the very back row, and how they wrestled with a colourful umbrella, and that umbrella remains erected. There's 2 fellas pretty comfortable underneath it, although I do say that one of them is wearing a sort of lilac-y shirt that he has unbuttoned all the way to reveal a bare midriff. Yadav sprints into Wesley, and once more that's outside the off stump, and Wesley, looking more composed, lets that one go. 84 for 2, 1 delivery of Umesh Yadav's over remaining. Wesley, Essex's captain in this game, has 40 from 64 deliveries. If you look around the ground, there are only really a handful of spectators in the stands where there's no shade. Some are gathered under trees or in the shadows. Yadav again, down the leg side. Dinesh Karthik skips across to collect the ball. End of the over. Essex 84 for 2. And at the moment, they're acquitting themselves quite nicely.
They are actually, yes. And I think most of those sitting out in the sun, I don't think they need our sympathy, because there are enough seats dotted around in the shade that if they wanted to move, they could do. So they're obviously sun worshippers. They may regret it later in the day or in the middle of the night, but no, I think they're happy enough. And we are assured that rain is on its way. In fact, we'll just look at one of these famous rain websites, whether that's likely to be today or tomorrow. To see.
Pandya scuttles in, Pepper drives the ball.
That's a super shot.
Well, it's a wide half volley from Hardik Pandya, and Pepper threw the hands through the ball. There was no great foot movement, the foot certainly wasn't to the pitch, but it was good hand speed from Pepper, picking up 4 to cover point. He moves on to 18, and Essex at 88 for 2.
Yes, as you say, there are no markings on the bats, there's no red on the boots, no colouring on the gloves. It's apart from the black number on his back and the navy blue helmet, and the boots are, yes, solely white. It could almost be at Wimbledon.
Urgent siren in the background as Pandya runs in again, and Pepper this time is driving back to the bowler. Pandya just has a little look at him as he does the fielding off his own bowling, and he sets off on the trudge back to his mark. Pandya's got the ball in his left hand, and he's wiping it on the back of his left thigh every time One wipe, then an inspection, wipe, inspection. Panja's walking across the parched outfield. Behind him is that huge sheet that acts as the sight screen. And now Panja turns again, gathering speed as he runs in and bowls, well outside the off stump, shaping away from the right-hander. And Pepper not feeling the urge to play. 3 slips in place, and then a gap, and then a 4th slip. Point, cover, mid-off, mid-on, and a long leg. All just being passed around the field as the India fielders who are wearing blue caps, apart from Ravi Jadeja at point, who is under a white brimmed sun hat. Panja, sweatband on his left arm, in now and bowls a short. And Pepper leaves the ball on length. It was certainly straight enough, but Pepper trusted the bounce. And the ball did pass over the off stump. Any hint of unevenness there, Pepper may have been in trouble. There's 1 delivery of Panja's over remaining. He's bowled 5.5 overs. Has no wicket for 23 runs.
Well, there's no rain immediately due. We've had a few emails from Ireland. If you're in Ireland, especially Western Ireland, you could be getting wet. In fact, it looks as if it's chucking it down, thunder and lightning in Cork, County Cork.
What's your definition of immediately, Dick? Is it weeks or...?
No, I doubt... All right, then here we go.
Panja bowls to Pepper. That's taking the outside half of the bat. Probably get 4 here, Pepper. There's no 3rd man in place. That's gone to the right of 4th slip. Nice controlled soft hands from Michael Pepper brings him a 2nd boundary of the over. And at the end of the over, Essex on 92 for 2. Wesley has 40. Pepper has 22. Remember, they are replying to India's 395 all out.
Yes, well, from what I can see from one of the numerous rain radar apps, I would fairly confidently say we're not going to get any rain today, but that we could get one heck of a lot tomorrow unless it gets rid of it all in Ireland or Wales.
Umesh Yadav will continue here at the River End. He's currently adjusting his hairstyle, which means fiddling with, I think, can we call that a bubble or an elastic band? And it's left him with what can only be described as a tail poking up straight up into the air. His hair bunched, little top knot on the top of his head. And now he's into bowl to Tom Wesley. That's outside the off stump, and Wesley lifts the bat high to draw it out of the line of the ball.
That's not an Alice band, is it? What's an Alice band?
An Alice band, that is like a headband where you've got really long hair and it pushes it behind.
Oh, like Jack Brooks wears.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But at the moment, Umesh Yadav with that hair on top of his head, it looks like he's got a fin or an aerial.
Yes.
Just guiding him.
Yes.
Man bun.
A man bun.
Well, perhaps you've latched onto a conspiracy here. Perhaps he's radio controlled.
He's in now to bowl to Wesley. Full delivery, lovely drive from Tom Wesley, but it goes straight to cover fielder Ravi Jadeja, who wrings his hand after he does the fielding. There's a member of the India staff just wandering around the boundary. He's now made it to long leg in the shady area. It looks like he might be about to deliver a drink to the long leg fielder. Hardik Pandya was that long leg fielder, but now he finds himself at mid-off, so I wonder if Pandya's spell has come to an end. Umesh Yadav with the ball in his right hand, he throws himself a catch and sets off on his journey away from us into Wesley and bowls, and again that's outside the off stump, and Wesley remains watchful against Umesh Yadav. 92 for 2 the score. Essex replying to India's 395, just the 303 runs behind.
Yes, but Essex can be pleased with their performance. They're going along well, and all the batsmen are getting some practice out of the middle, which is exactly what they need. Pepper's making a good impression. He's got 22 to his name. Tom Wesley at least has got some runs to his name. He's got 40.
Wesley very deliberately taps the bat twice, then twice more as Yadav bowls, and again that's outside the off stump, and once more Wesley is happy to leave the ball alone. Then Wesley just goes through a little routine between each delivery. He walks away towards square leg, makes a gesture with his right hand, fiddles with the box, fiddles with the left pad, touches the grill of his helmet. He's standing around about where short leg would be. Then he makes his way back to the crease, puts his feet correctly in the position that he wants them, then crouches and waits for Yadav, and this time forces off the back foot. Ravi Jadeja, the cover fielder, has to move to his left. Jadeja's frustrated because he didn't pick the ball up cleanly, and it allows Essex to go through for a single. 93 for 3. Wesley on to 41.
Yeah, we briefly lost our television screen scoreboard, but we've got it back now. Modern technology switch televisions off if you don't sort of give them tender loving care every half hour or so.
A needy television?
Yes, we got one at home that just sort of...
Yadav into Michael Pepper, who's almost squared up, but just about corrects himself to play with a straight bat and no feet. End of the over. Essex on 93 for 2. Tom Wesley has 41. Michael Pepper 22. Essex are 302 behind after India were bowled out for 395. As a reminder, in about half an hour or so, we'll take tea here in Chelmsford. And 5 Live Sports Extra listeners will be taken to France for the 18th stage of the Tour de France. We'll be back with you later.
That's been quite interesting, hasn't it, the stage with the farmers protesting?
Speaking of pepper here and pepper spray in the eyes of the cyclists in France.
Yes. Yes, he was in the squad when Essex played Sussex, and they have an opening batsman called Salt. And we wondered if we would have Salt and Pepper in the same match, but unfortunately he didn't get in the final 11.
So change of bowling at the Hayes Close end. It's going to be Shardil Thakur coming into bowl to Tom Wesley, who drives off the back foot. Excellent fielding in the covers. Prevents the run being taken. Thakur getting his first bowl of the match. We saw a little bit of him during the one-day series. Right arm, fast medium. Shortish figure. I think I'm right in saying during the limited overs match he was bowling a headband. Is that right, Shardil Thakur?
No, that was Thakur.
That was not Shardil Thakur. He hurries towards us, Thakur now, and bowls. Has bounced in on Wesley, and Wesley very fortunate not to give an edge to Dinesh Karthik. Thakur, as we mentioned, short of stature, but he's got that one to lift. And that's the first delivery in some time, actually, where we've seen extra bounce. Usually, so far today, if the ball's going to misbehave, it's kept low. And Wesley slightly surprised by that one.
Yes, but he was drawn to it, wasn't he, like the metaphorical moth to a flame, and luckily not to get his wings burnt.
Wesley taps the bat twice as Thakur is in. This time Wesley leaves the ball alone, kicking up some dust as he shuffles across his stumps. Score remains 93 for 2. You can see some spectators away to my left, just to the right of the big electronic scoreboard. They're huddled under a tree. They've just about got a view of the action. Looks like a sensible place to stand, shielding themselves from the sun. Thakur now over the parched outfield. He's in and bowls to Wesley, who forces off the back foot. They think about a single. There's good work done by the fielder in the cover. There's no run taken. Breeze is picking up. Thakur is bowling with it. It's coming from the Hayes Close end towards us at the river end, in through the window of the commentary box. Thakur is at the end of his run. Gets the ball back from Hardik Pandya. Shines it on his left thigh. Now with an urgent approach to the crease, he bowls to Wesley. Scuttled all the way through. It's going to be 4 byes. Tom Wesley is very fortunate not to have lost his off stump. It's been absolutely everything. In fact, they've given runs.
Given runs. So it's a drop catch, really.
So Wesley must have got a little bat on that. I think it may have bounced before Dinesh Karthik. Absolutely no bounce. It's one that you'd say in club cricket that it's gone underground.
Yes.
Scuttled, maybe took the bottom of Wesley's bat, somehow missed the off stump. Dinesh Karthik couldn't get anything on it. The upshot is 4 runs. Essex go to 97 for 2. Tom Wesley has 45.
Yes, well, obviously from the Essex point of view, I hope that Wesley does reach his half-century and more, but it won't be the best half-century he's ever scored by any means. But at least it's runs. Wesley tried to put the low bounce out of his mind, and this time it's outside the off stump. Wesley can leave in comfort. End of the over. Of course, first over of the match. Essex on 97 for 2. Tom Wesley has 45 and Michael Pepper 22. And such is the nature of cricket. It's all based on results and statistics, and you know, a scratchy 60 odd counts for just as many as the most elegant 60 odd. So Wesley's probably not too concerned. At least he'll say, well, at least I'm staying there. I'm not sort of losing my head, which is absolutely true. And if you can score runs when you're not in form, of course, many would say that's all the more commendable than scoring them when you are in form.
They say, look in the scorebook.
Exactly.
See what number is next to my name.
Yep. A bit like people who protest about LBW from court behind. Look at tomorrow's paper.
एक तो ये जाम चला के रख दिया था अभी नीचे जाएगी ना तो कहिए भैया बैग आंटी का बैग मोबाइल का है अंदर के कमरे में तो नहीं है भैया आएगा ना दे देगा सचिन ने बुलाया है वो टाइम को फिर एडजस्ट कर लेती कि नहीं है जो भी कर लेंगे कह रहा कल बैंक डिटेल दे दो मैं सुबह डाल दूंगा कह दिया अभी दे दे बैंक डिटेल दे दी तो उसमें का चोरी थोड़ी ना कि हाँ ठीक हाँ सब पहले कुछ नहीं करना हाँ तू मुझे इसका काम नहीं करती है निकालू महीना पूरा करके उसको वो तो कर देती है और पहले ही पूरा कर दी पहले इसको नहीं देखो नहीं इसको मुझे लगा पैसा
Under 19 starts fizzling out after a season or so.
It is indeed. Concluded by the time the play is ended here at 6 will return.
And maybe again a little bit of a leading edge, but went along on the ground through gully, but there was a short man backing it up. No addition to the score, it's still Umeshiadev bowling from the far end. He's close in.
And then later on this evening, from 7 o'clock on Sports Extra, Rugby League, Super League action, St Helens against the Warrington Wolves.
Imagine playing rugby this weather. Good Lord. Do clubs not have what we know as a duty of care to their employees, making people go out and play rugby league in this weather? That's worked away square on the onside, will certainly be 2, and only 2. Possibly a T20 game where it really mattered, they might have looked for 3 there, but given the nature of the game, and especially the nature of the weather, they were quite happy to settle for 2.
Even though Dick, Rugby League is mostly played in the gritty north.
Yes, I know what you're going to say, yes.
Well, we just get on with things.
That's right. Immune to the weather, aren't you, really? You know, I mean, famously, no, it won't stereotype Newcastle girls. No, not fair otherwise. In fact, when you're commentating from Essex, it's not fair to stereotype about anybody else, is it? It's flying in the face of fortune, really. Pulled away, or chopped away, as the name suggests, by Chopra for a 4. It was short and this sat up rather than asked to be hit, and sure enough it was hit backward and square on the offside. 4. Seems I don't think it's going to apply in rugby league, but in rugby union they're going to experiment with the tackle law in the Championship Cup matches this season, which is a good idea.
A real blind spot now for me, Dick, is rugby tackling.
Blind spot.
I am not the man to be discussing rugby.
Right.
Well, that delivery from Umeshiadev, I'm just running slightly tired. He's into his 7th over now. His spell has been split over lunch, but he may be thinking about change.
And again, sat up and asked to be hit. Chopra had no idea where it went, and I actually had neither did I. I thought it had gone where Chopra thought it had gone, down to sort of deep backward square leg or long leg. And
He was blowing along with the wind. Thakur now.
that's outside the off stump. Goes through the wicketkeeper, who takes it low down by his boots this time.
And again, I think there's starting to be some variable bounds on this pitch.
Yes.
Not every delivery is keeping up as it was yesterday. The pitch was fresher.
All right.
113 for 2, 57 to Wesley, 25 to Pepper. Wesley on strike. Faces up now. and allows that to go by outside the off stump. No addition to the score. The sky literally cloudless. There's a couple of very faint bits of white cotton wool, but that's it really, and it's been like that for 7 or 8 weeks.
I'm just glad there's a breeze today.
Yes, there is a slight breeze, which helps enormously.
Ever since I took that walk for lunch, since then there's been a slight breeze. I should take more walks.
Yes, that's the answer, definitely. And again, Westley goes forward and then lifts the bat out of the way. It goes through to the wicketkeeper. A few seagulls hovering and circling the ground.
Around noon I had gone downstairs to get some ice slush. I really like that.
Oh yes.
Really like that. And well, he filled up the glass, and by the time, and it's not even too far off, it's just down the press box onto our left, around 10 steps.
Yes, that's right. You're going to say by the time you got it back here it was it had all melted. That's pulled away and it's going to be out. Totally mistimed. Tried to hook it away to long leg, got a top edge, and it was caught at short third man, and Wesley is out for 57 and Essex are 113 for 3.
Lived by the sword and
yes.
Departed playing or executing a shot that wasn't there to be hit really. Bit miscued, but Ravindra Jadeja at backward point completing a fine catch. That's the 3rd wicket to fall for Essex.
But it was a necessary innings by Wesley. I picked my adjective carefully because it wasn't one of his best by any means. He played and missed a lot. He had a bit of luck, and but he stuck it out, which is just as important. And yeah, that was the last ball of the over. So I think this is Rishi Patel coming to the crease. I've had several chats with Rishi Patel, mainly at club cricket games when I cover club cricket. He's been getting a lot of runs from Brentwood, a lot of runs for Essex Seconds. He and Michael Pepper know each other well. They've shared many a partnership for Essex Seconds and various other representative forms of the game.
Just to finish up that story, yes, half the glass of slush had melted.
Oh yes, yes.
While I came up 10 steps and took my place here in the commentary box, half the glass had melted.
Yes, I'm not really surprised. So this will be, I think this will be Rishi Patel's debut for Essex. I said that it was Peppers, and 1 or 2 people, including one of my esteemed colleagues, pointed out that it wasn't. He also played against Somerset, but as did somebody else. I'm grateful to both of them for pointing out my indiscretion, one of whom I bet gained great delight from discovering it. Maybe they both did. So end of the over. The batsman, well, that's swung away for 4. And the first ball that Jadeja bowled in his first over was paddled round the corner for a single by Wesley. The first ball of his second over is swept square by Pepper. The batsman didn't cross while the ball was in the air when Wesley was dismissed.
Full-blooded sweep there from Pepper. Fielders didn't even blink or didn't even move, and it just went to the boundary like a bullet. First ball 2 of the over, so that's an important shot really.
It is, yes. Jadeja moves in again and bowls to Pepper. Pepper plays that defensively and with all the respect that the delivery deserves. So Pepper showing a good attitude, certainly not being overawed by playing against the #1 rated Test side. Which of course you mustn't be. You've got to play on what you see. You don't you respect the opposition obviously, but you mustn't fear them, otherwise you're halfway out before you're even in. Yes, give them all the respect they deserve, but nevertheless when they bowl a bad ball, hit it.
Play the ball, not the name.
That's right, exactly. And he comes down the wicket again, whips that through the onside for 4 runs. So looking very good indeed is Michael Pepper. Very good indeed. That takes him up to 33. I don't think they've clicked that second 4 up yet on the scoreboard that we can see. And T will be taken in, well, probably end of this and then one more over, and I imagine that will be T, and then I shall be dashing off to this press conference with Jamie Porter. That's just pushed out in the offside, no addition to the score. And it is indeed the end of the over. One more before the T interval, with Essex on 121 for 3.
Was okay with taking risks, really. He has played. Oh, they have been very, very good. Now it'll be Patel who will be facing Thakur. 3 slips and a gully in position. Thakur from the haze end, back of Lynn on the off stump, and Patel just defends it forward towards the cover region.
Yes, thanks for that. Sorry, I just thought I had a text message, but I thought I heard it vibrating. Either that or I've got palpitations. I'm not sure which. Maybe both. So yes, 1 over to go before the tea interval, which will be welcomed by everybody, not least those in this commentary box. Slight delay while the field is set. If the Indians could pick up another wicket just before the tea interval, they would be delighted. The next delivery is allowed to go by outside the off stump. Yes, getting back to that partnership between Wesley and Pepper. I mean, if you walked into the ground not knowing either batsman, you were told that one of them was the acting Essex captain, been an established member of the side for several seasons, played 5 test matches last year, and the other batsman was making only his 2nd appearance for the county and really has just come out of club cricket. You'd get them wrong, you'd get them round the wrong way, because as you say, it was Pepper who was playing in a far more assured manner, and Wesley who looked distinctly circumspect. And and Rishi Patel backs away from that one, but only at the very last minute. Almost looked as if he was going to stand there and just let it hit him, but at the very last moment he backed away, went through to the wicket-keeper. So 3 balls gone, 3 to go in this over, the 34th over of the innings. And
not sure he had decided how to leave that ball.
No, exactly. Maybe I gave him too much benefit of the doubt, as if it was all premeditated. It's the sort of charitable chap I am. It's just played out in the offside, so he scores his first run for Essex, and it's little milestones like that that make all the difference. He can now say he's a professional cricketer with at least one run to his name. And plenty have come in and out of the game and never even scored any, but I'm sure he'll score many, many more, as will Pepper from looking. These two at the wicket now are definitely the future of the middle order for Essex. The interesting thing is how much in the future. Are we looking next season, the season after, or next week and the week after that? As that's down the leg side, and not an entirely controlled shot, but Pepper got bat on it, and all he had to do was help it on its way down to the boundary for 4 runs. Pepper moves on to 37. So yes, it's batsmen like this that make the likes of Wesley and Lawrence, maybe 1 or 2 others, sit up and think these people waiting in the wings are pretty useful players. Got to sharpen up my own game. And as long as it doesn't put undue pressure on you, then if you know your position is not entirely secure, then it theoretically makes you play better. On the other hand, it can have the opposite effect, of course, if you're all tense. And Pepper plays that off the edge, but he's picked up 4 more. That wasn't one of his better ones. It's the last ball before tea. Pepper moves on to 41, 130 for 3. I have to fly off to the pavilion now to get some words with Jamie Porter and leave listeners in the very capable hands of Stefan.
Thanks, Dick. Well, tea time here at Chelmsford. Essex, in reply to India's 395 Earlier on, the batsmen to fall: Nick Brown, LBW to Umesh Yadav for 11, Varun Chopra, LBW to Ishant Sharma for 16, and Tom Wesley made 57 before miscuing a pull stroke from Shardil Thakur and was caught at point by Ravi Jadeja. Looks like it'll be Mohammad Shami to begin the bowling after tea. He's going to be bowling at the river end beneath us, with Rishi Patel on strike. There are 2 slips and a gully, a point, a cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket and a long leg. So Patel, with a slightly open stance, sturdy figure, taps the bat, bending over, then stands up straight, and Shami is in now and he bowls. That's outside the off stump and the ball climbs through to the wicketkeeper Dinesh Karthik. As I said, such hot conditions at Chelmsford today. I was wandering around during tea. It was all sun cream and ice creams and spectators taking shade wherever they could find it. But we can just see in the distance the trees just wafting with slightly more gusto, which suggests that the breeze is just picking up, much to the pleasure of everyone around Chelmsford, not least the players. Here goes Shami, towel tucked in the waistband of his trousers, and Patel pushes into the offside, and after a little bit of a debate with Michael Pepper, they decide that they have enough time to take a single, and 1 added to the score. We move on to 131 for 3, and Patel has 2. Tall Michael Pepper, the wicketkeeper, he's just doing some gardening on the increasingly light brown looking surface. It started off quite green yesterday morning, but it's been baked in the sunshine. And Pepper, the right-hander, now waits for Shami, dark-haired, in, bowls. It's outside the stump. Pepper plays at that one, but it scoots underneath his bat almost into the gloves of Dinesh Karthik. Score remains 131 for 3. Update for BBC Essex is coming up from Dick.
We're in the first over of the final session of the day, a day which has been quite interesting as well as extremely hot. The Indians took their overnight score onto 395 before they were eventually all bowled out, and in reply Essex are now 131 for 3, the three men out. Nick Brown for 11, Varun Chopra for 16 and Tom Wesley for 57, and the 2 present incumbents are Michael Pepper playing his second game for Essex. He's on 41 not out, and Rishi Patel, who's just got 2 to his name. These are probably the future middle order of Essex, of the Essex first 11. They're both looking very solid. Michael Pepper in particular, and Patel's only just come to the wicket. So Essex have had a pretty good day so far, and they're now getting very useful batting practice for the youngsters. 135 for 3.
Yes, Dick was giving that update to BBC Essex listeners. Pepper was pulling for 4 through mid-on, so he's now on 45. Shami in once more, that's outside the off stump, and Pepper leaves with a flourish. There's 1 delivery of Shami's over remaining. He has no wickets for 31 runs. Mostly pace so far from the Indians. We just saw a little bit of Ravi Jadeja's left arm spin before tea. So they're using this at the moment for their pace bowlers to get overs in their legs. Shami, short hair, he's got stubble covering his chin and the space between his nose and his top lip. He's got a bandage on his left arm, and he's in now to bowl to Michael Pepper, who's forcing off the back foot to point. There's no run, it's the end of the over, and Essex are 135 for 3. And Chetan Narula is going to join me, I believe. Chetan actually, very deaverishly, he would like to take the seat in the shade, I believe. Is that right? Is he trying to keep your laptop cool, or what is it? Just you want to keep cool? Oh yeah, you're pointing to your laptop. Tell you what, if we all did that, if I brought my laptop with me, I could have kept cool as well. And see, now the wires are getting tangled and all sorts. Now you've got the headset that's on the left, you're sitting on the right. Look at the carnage you've caused.
Small time problems.
Small time problems. I'll tell you what,
when you devise devilish plans to sit in the shade.
Throwing his weight around. They'll all sit down now, you can hear the chairs scraping on the floor. Tried to sort of give me a code of where he wanted to sit. It's Shardil Thakur, bowling from the Hayes close end, outside Rishi Patel's off stump. Patel leaves and holds the pose. You could have just stuck your microphone on and said to me, can we swap seats? You didn't have to get involved in the hand signals and the code either.
Devilish plans. Hand signals are very vital in devilish plans. You don't say the plans out to the world.
No?
No, you just make hand signals and then explain, yeah, I got the seat in the shade. No, but really, it's just to keep the laptop a little cooler.
Yeah, I believe that. There's a fridge next door, you know, you could put it in there.
Not that cool.
Sakor, 3 slips go down, and that's straight to Patel, who clips it off his hip to the sun-hatted Ravi Jadeja at mid-wicket. Really beautiful scene at Chelmsford. Wonderful sunshine. I mean, it's a bit rich for us Brits to be complaining about how hot it is. It was only 3 or 4 months ago we were moaning that it was cold because the beast from the east had arrived. Really fantastic sunshine. We're looking upon a perfect cricketing scene. Blue skies, players pristine in their whites, the red ball on the parched brown outfield as the short Sakor is in. Again, that's on the hips, and Rishi Patel turns it around the corner. There's work for the long leg fielder to do. It does prevent the ball from rolling into the boundary, and Patel hurries a couple. He moves on to 4, and the score is 137 for 3. Caps and sunglasses, the order of the day for the India team. All of them, bar Ravi Jadeja, underneath a blue cap. All manner of sunglasses, like a bunch of futuristic superheroes. The slip fielders, Shikhar Dhawan at first, Virat Kohli second, Ajinkya Rahane at a wide-ish third slip. Kohli, the captain, spreads his legs, put his hands on his knees as Thakur is into Patel, who dead bats a forward defensive stroke into the offside, and there's no run. Patel, playing his first game for Essex, he has no name or number on the back of his shirt. Just walks away to square leg, tugs at his trousers and fiddles with the grill of his helmet. And now he's moving back towards where he will take his stance, very deliberately placing his feet either side of the crease, the shadow cast behind him at around about 8 o'clock as Thakur comes in. That short delivery that Patel's almost ducked into rather. In the end, he ended up just punching the ball away towards third slip. The ball went all along the ground, but Patel got himself in a real tangle against that short ball, first trying to duck and then eventually punching the ball off his nose.
I tell you what, he had a similar moment against Thakur in the last over before tea. The ball was short, was coming into his body. He didn't really know how to get out of the way, and decided almost at the last moment to leave it. So not really adept at playing a short delivery, is he?
Thakur's final ball of the over brings Patel forward. Patel defends on the walk, so he's done well actually to get onto the front foot after being hit there, Rishi Patel. End of the over, Essex are 137 for 3. They are replying to India's 395. You're listening online through the BBC Sport website with BBC Essex. A little bit later on we will rejoin BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra at the conclusion of stage 18 of the Tour de France. What are you pointing to now?
The water bottle.
The water bottle. Is there anything else I can get for you, sir?
It's just to stop the wind to come onto my
Okay.
laptop. I have to be very protective of my laptop. One of them have already been burned down thanks to hot coffee.
Okay.
It's a very interesting tale. I was at the indoor stadium that's in India, Madhya Pradesh, and so they have a stepped press box. And they don't have any grills and they have individual seats and tables for press, and they don't have any stopping anything to stop the tables from falling over. And one gentleman in his infinite wisdom decided that he wanted to push the table. It fell on my neck, and we'll come back after this delivery.
Mohammed Shami into Michael Pepper, who's driving handsomely, and he should pick up 4. The ball will pick up pace as it scoots over the brown outfield, and Michael Pepper moves on to 49 with a handsome cover drive, 141 for 3.
Brilliant shot, that one. Just stand and deliver, really.
It's necessitated a change in the field. Previously there was a mid-wicket and two men in fact back on the hook, a deep backward square leg and a long leg. Now mid-wicket has come across to extra cover, so we'll have mid-off, extra cover and point. Those 3 slips, 2 conventional and 1 wide, long leg, deep backward square leg, and the tall figure of Ishant Sharma at mid-on. Shami tries again, scuttling approach to the crease into Michael Pepper, short and wide, well wide in fact, and Michael Pepper not interested in playing at the ball.
And so the table fell on my shoulder and neck, really. I barely managed to escape. But more importantly, there was hot coffee and it spilled all over the new MacBook I had bought. The keyboard was gone. It was 3 months old, that laptop.
And what was the reaction from you?
Can't really blame him, can I?
Well, I would.
What happened afterwards, though?
Pepper on 49, waits on Mohamed Shami, straight delivery. Pepper defends with an angled bat a la Kane Williamson into the offside, and there's no run.
So, a year later, I went back to Indore when they were hosting their first test, and I think that was against New Zealand, first maiden test for Indore Stadium, and the media manager came to me and said so nicely, thanks to that incident, now we have placed grills so that tables don't fall over anymore. And I was like, okay, my MacBook Air actually worked out very well for you.
Shami pumps his arms in towards the crouching Pepper, that's on the pads. Pepper turns it towards mid-on and briefly thinks about a single, but the ball goes straight to Ishant Sharma. The score remains 141 for 3. Pepper unbeaten on 49.
And since then I've replaced my machine, got a new MacBook, and it has all sorts of protection now. It has a nice silicone cover on, it has a silicone keyboard as well. So I'm not inviting you to spill anything. I'm just saying I'm very protective of my laptop.
And you're worried about it getting a bit too hot.
Yes.
And you getting a bit too hot as well.
That's the perk of sitting in the shade.
Shami bowls a short delivery to Pepper, who'll reach 50. He gets a single out to deep square leg, and Michael Pepper has a first team half century for Essex. He raises his bat towards the pavilion and takes the warm applause of this Chelmsford crowd. He has 50 from 56 deliveries, and Essex are 143 for 3. Lovely knock by Michael Pepper in only his second first team appearance.
Absolutely wonderful knock from Pepper. That's unlike Wesley. He's taken his time. He's played some absolutely gorgeous strokes. One of the best was the cover drive that he played before tee, and not a bad shot to get to his half century either. And very well played, very well deserved, to be honest, especially given the conditions.
Extra catcher in place for Rishi Patel. 3 slips and then a 5th slip as Shami is in. That's outside the off stump, and Patel leaves it alone. That's the final delivery of the over. Mohamed Shami has bowled 9 overs. He's wicketless. He's conceded 36 runs. Essex are 142 for 3. Michael Pepper has an even 50, and Rishi Patel has 4, where Essex are replying to India's 395 all out.
Do you feel that really strong breeze?
It was wonderful, wasn't it?
Absolutely wonderful.
Well, we're told that rain is coming tomorrow. I think if it does rain here,
Right.
would India, and let's say a reasonable chunk of tomorrow's players lost, and either Che Pujara or Shikhar Dhawan is unable to bat again.
Let's just say 2 out of 3 sessions gone. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you know, perfectly feasible that Essex could still be batting tomorrow and into tomorrow.
They're just 3 down.
Shardul Thakur begins a new over. He's coming into Pepper. He's trying to pull a delivery that's outside the off stump, and the ball goes underneath his bat. Pepper gets nothing on it. He's fortunate not to get a bottom edge onto his stumps.
Before you proceed, let me say this, that I know where you're going, but now let's
would it be a concern that one of Dhawan or Pujara, who was almost certainly going to take their place in the test side, would have only 1 red ball innings, and Pujara especially has looked out of touch? I know he's been playing for Yorkshire, but all the more reason for him to get another knock because of his poor form with Yorkshire. As Thakur comes in towards us again, shortish figure, that's a loopy bouncer that goes past Pepper's grill and is taken by Dinesh Karthik.
I thought you were going to ask if India will consider playing on the 4th day.
Oh no, not at all. I think that ship has sailed, hasn't it?
Yeah? Okay. Well, I think the problem is really complex with Dhawan and Pujara. I think everything I have seen in net practice and in the game still points to the very fact that they will go with Shikhar Dhawan and Murali Vijay in the first test, and Pujara at number 3, albeit we haven't seen him on the field today.
The sunlight reflects off the back of Michael Pepper's bat as he waits for Thakur, and this time Pepper gets the pull shot, and he will pick up 4 runs. 3 short deliveries in a row from Shardul Thakur, and eventually Michael Pepper capitalises with a boundary to square leg. He moves on to 54, and the score is 146 for 3.
Handsome shot there from Pepper. Standing tall, getting on top of the ball and getting that boundary.
You're not the only one who's trying to keep cool, Richard. And joined by Chris Stocks in the back of the box. I think he's sitting there because he is trying to keep cool. Is that right? Trying to keep cool because next door...
Poor Chris, his seat has it has the most amount of sunlight.
Takor bowls to Pepper. It's another short delivery that Pepper tries to pull or hook this time, and it's well wide of the off stump, and Pepper gets nowhere near. I think he even gets a word for Shardil, from Shardil Takor for his efforts. Yeah, right next door to us, we have the radio box is separate to the written press box, is right next to us. And if it hadn't been for some glass, then Chris would be just 2 seats along from us in his ordinary place, and that really looks to be the hottest part of the press box. And he's taken refuge in the back of our box with the benefit of a fan and some shade. He looks very grateful.
No devilish plans there.
No devilish plans. He's very honest about what he's doing. He doesn't use hand signals like you.
Or laptops.
Takor hurries in towards us. He's beaten Pepper outside the off stump. Really indeterminate prod from Michael Pepper, who had faced 4 successive short deliveries. This time Takor had pushed that one up, and Pepper's footwork was non-existent really. And as the ball shaped away from him, he was fortunate not to take the edge. Score remains 146 for 3.
It's a brilliant spell from Shardul Thakur. He's using his full repertoire. Short ball. I mean, he's not the tallest fast bowler, is he? And you just don't expect him to generate that amount of pace, but he's done well for himself. 83, 85, that's what he usually hits, but his short ball is deceptive.
Takor in now. It's another short ball. It's hooked in the air. There's a man out there at deep backward square leg, but it's going to go for 4. While the trap had been set, there were 2 catches out there, a long leg and a deep square leg. Takor's 5th short delivery of the over, but Pepper took up the challenge, and it went for a 1 bounce 4, about 10 yards or so to the right of the deep square leg field. The Pepper moves on to 58, and that brings up the Essex 150 there, 150 for 3 in reply to India's 395.
India would like to see the back of Pepper, to be very honest. I mean, it's almost like he's stopping them from getting into the middle and the lower order for Essex here. And again, answering that question, whether rain comes tomorrow or not, India at this time tomorrow wouldn't like to be in the field. They would like at least last 2 sessions for Dhawan and Pujara, maybe Ajinkya Rahane to get some batting, maybe Ashwin. We haven't seen him still in this match.
Rishi Patel raises his bat as Mohammad Shami is in. Patel just forces the ball to point, and there's no run. 3 slips and a 5th slip in place, a point. Cover is vacant, and we round to mid-off. There's a tall figure of Ishant Sharma at mid-on. There's a deep backward square leg and a long leg. Down at deep backward square leg, Hardik Pandya is underneath the sun hat. He's walking towards some shade to keep cool. He's just going to sign an autograph. He's underneath the old electronic scoreboard that's a little bit scant on the details. Pandya now just emerges from the shadows as Shami begins his run up. Underneath us at the river end, it's a full delivery to Patel, who drives up to Ishant Sharma at mid-on, and there's no run. 150 for 3 the score remains. Michael Pepper at the non-strikers end, he just takes a stance and just does some shadow batting, maybe just practicing those short deliveries that he's been peppered with by Shardil Takor, no pun intended. Pepper, no hint of colour on his gloves or his shoes or his bat. Does a little bit of gardening, change in the field. One of the slips moves to a leg gully, and the deep backward square leg comes in front of square. So maybe Rishi Patel is about to smell the leather from Mohammad Shami, who hurries in, and indeed it is a short ball, and Patel does very well to defend with a straight bat, jumping in the air, pushing the ball away off his chin.
India not very deceptive with their field placement, are they? Immediately as that leg slip or leg gully went in, Shami came out with that short delivery, and Ravi Patel has looked Rishi Patel has looked uncomfortable against the short delivery. There's no doubting that. So they might just give him a bit of a workover. Shami obviously a little quicker than Shardul Thakur.
Mohammad Shami once more is in and it bowls. This time it's a full delivery, and Patel comes forward inside half of the bat, manages to take a single on the leg side, Score moves on to 151 for 3. Patel has 5. Yeah, Rishi Patel, to my knowledge, he's the third R Patel in county cricket at the moment. There's Ravi Patel, the off-spinner, who is at Middlesex, I think. And then Surrey also have Ryan Patel, who's a bit of an all-rounder. So, 3 R Patels in county cricket. Not too far away from each other either. Fields change for Michael Pepper. Leg gully is now at extra cover, and Shami bowls. That's well outside the off stump. Patel leaves alone. Pepper rather leaves alone.
We were talking about a bit of reverse swing earlier before tea, and whether Ishant Sharma was getting some. I think the best exponent in this Indian squad of reverse swing is Mohammad Shami. I haven't been able to spot any off his hand so far. So it was perhaps a case of Ishant Sharma just straying down the leg a little too much. Haven't seen Ishant Sharma after tea yet. It's been Shardul Thakur and Mohammad Shami who's running in now.
Shami bowls to Pepper again. It's on a straight delivery that is just defended with the inside half of the bat. You hear a grunt of frustration from Mohammad Shami as Essex run a single. At the end of the over, it's 152 for 3. Michael Pepper has 59 and Rishi Patel has 5.
39 overs gone, and Mohammad Shami has bowled 10 overs, none for 37 for him.
I wonder if we'll see a change shortly. The bowlers have been unchanged since tea in these stiflingly hot conditions.
You'd expect shorter spells for the Pacers. I thought Pandya's 6 over spell on the bounce, 6 overs.
Still going to be Shardul Thakur from the far end, the Hayes close end. Michael Pepper just fiddles with his gloves and then settles into his stance. A couple of taps at the bat, slight crouch. Thakur is in now. It's outside the off stump, scuttled through for 4 byes. Dinesh Karthik almost got his pads out of the way of that one. No bounce. It went past him on at least the second bounce. And Karthik is now deep in conversation with wicketkeeper with captain Virat Kohli, who's even showing how Karthik got his left leg out of the way. 4 added to the score, 156 for 3. I think Karthik is taking a severe ribbing from Virat Kohli there.
Just looking at India's bowling card, Umesh Yadav 10 overs, 6 maidens in there. Just the 10 runs for a wicket. Pick of the bowlers really. I thought Hardik Pandya was very impressive. He's gone to 4.5 and over. He was very impressive.
Thakur once more bounding in towards Michael Pepper outside the off stump. Pepper plays the ball all along the ground towards point, and there's no run, and he marks his guard again with authority, Michael Pepper. And we still haven't seen Ravi Ashwin or Kuldeep Yadav in this innings. I wonder if India have looked at the weather forecast. I wonder if they know that they might be short on play tomorrow and they may have to get the likes of Yadav and Ashwin into the game this evening.
Or they might not play them at all.
No. Thakur, straight approach to Pepper, who drives for 4. It's a lovely shot from Pepper because there was just a little bit of movement in the air from the delivery from Shardul Thakur, but it's full enough for Pepper to lean into a controlled drive, just opening the face, the ball going between cover and point. Pepper picks up another boundary. He's on to 63 now from 67 deliveries, and the score's 160 for 3.
Is Alistair Cook here?
I don't know if he's still here. He was here yesterday.
Yes. Yesterday he was here. I don't know how much of it matters. I mean, if Alistair Cook is watching Kuldeep Yadav, he hasn't played Kuldeep Yadav, but if he's watching him from the stand, he's not playing this game. I don't know how much of that matters. Kuldeep Yadav has been exposed to the Indian batsmen through the summer. Ashwin has played here before.
Here comes Thakur. He's in, that's on the pads, and Pepper whips the ball out to deep backward square leg. Just a single taken, so Pepper moves on to 64, and the score is 161 for 3.
There's always a question of overexposure of bowlers, and I'm not talking about Ashwin, but somebody like Kuldeep Yadav. At the end of the ODI series, I thought Joe Root was starting to pick him really well, and it showed in those 200s that he scored. So that's maybe a factor for India to consider as there's a field change.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit more leg theory to Rishi Patel. Leg gully goes in for Shardul Thakur. It's Hardik Pandya underneath the sun hat. Here comes Thakur. Again, it's a full delivery that Patel defends with a straight bat. May have to leave you to fly solo in a moment, Chitan, as I go and update listeners on 5 Live. There is one delivery of Shardul Thakur's over remaining. I'll squeeze that one in.
Brilliant breeze.
We're expecting Dick Davis to reappear at any moment now. He interviewed Jamie Porter at tea time, and he's gone to give that audio to the BBC Essex team. So Thakur, to finish the over, he's the ball in both hands, then in his right, and he runs in now. It's outside the off stump, and Patel forces through the covers. There's a chase for the point fielder. He's not going to make it. The ball trickles over the boundary rope at cover, and Patel picks up a boundary. So he moves on to 9. Michael Pepper has 64, and Essex are 165 for 3 in response to India's 395.
It's been a great knock from Porter, who's single-handedly maintained not only the scoring rate but also the fact that India are being kept busy in the field. 64 not out of 68 balls, and of course we have Rishi Patel at the other end, so staying with him.
Return the ball from the mid-range.
And there's a bowling change. From the river end we have now Ishant Sharma in place of Mohammad Shami. Just need to see what sort of field he has in position. It's going to be 1 slip, or in fact 2 slips. Virat Kohli in a wideish 3rd slip position. So 2 slips in position. We have mid-off, mid-on, wicket, extra cover, backward point, fine leg, deep square leg. Ishant Sharma to Pepper from the river end. Wide outside the off stump, and a lot of room for the batsman. He's cut it away for 4. There's no protection in the deep. 4 more runs added to the total. It's 169 for 3. Not a good start for Ishant Sharma, who's now into his 6th over. He's easily going at 6 and over at the moment. Wasn't a great spell. He started off well, got a wicket as well of Nick Brown, LBW. Since then, in fact, Nick Brown was Umesh Yadav. He got Varun Chopra with Ishant Sharma, LBW in fact. Since then, he's been straying down the middle and leg side. This time it was a little too wide outside the off. So once again, running from the river end. Much better line, Fuller, and on the off stump, the batsman comes forward and just prods. Over 9 at 169 3. He was just joining us late. 395 that India scored in their first innings. Best of starts, Shikhar Dhawan falling for first ball. Akshiteshwar Pujara just 1 run. Ajinkya Rahane and Murli Vijay had a torrid time in the first session, or in the first hour, really. A couple of dropped catches. Sharma runs in once again from the river end. Pepper strike, this time back of length. The ball coming in, sailing over the top of Oxton, the batsman not offering any shot. Murli Vijay and Ajinkya Rahane resisted for a bit. Rahane was caught behind. Team Foster had a really good time yesterday behind the wicket, put in some really good diving efforts. 3 catches for him. As the new ball did trouble India's top order, they were reduced to 44-3. Murli Vijay scored a half century, 53. Virat Kohli looked at imperious form, 12 fours in his 68 of 93 balls. As Sharma runs in. This time Fuller on the off stump, half a broad forward, and a defensive stroke. So no run added once again. Virat Kohli, like I said, made 68 runs with an imperious touch. No loose shot really. Controlled the pace of the game. India was struggling to score. They had 44 runs in 19 odd overs. Since he came to the crease, they were just travelling at 4.5. Despite Murli Vijay at the other end, he's known to take his time, and he did take his time. 53 of 113 balls. Sean Sharma once again from the river end. 2 slips and waiting. This time dropped it short, not much bounce. Pepper wanted to pull it. Like I said, not much bounce and straight into his ribcage.
Essex are 169 for 3. They're making
Probably a bit of
work hard in the hard
there's not much of an impact.
Michael Pepper, a young batsman playing on the second game
the non-strikers in.
Rishi
Patel.
knockout.
He's okay.
Rishi Patel.
He's a win knockout.
Earlier today,
Survives, still on 68 now, 73.
English is on Essex for 169.
Really batted well today for his half century. Score still 169 for 3. KL Rahul and Dinesh Karthik also got half centuries. KL Rahul getting 58 of 90 to 12 fours in there. Sharma once again running away from us at the river end. Short ball once again, inside edge, and he's bowled him. Knocked back his off stump. Didn't climb as much as he would have liked. Thought he had the ball enough, high enough to cut it. But an inside edge, and back on his off stump. That is the end of Pepper. Unlucky dismissal. He was batting so well, Michael Pepper, and he's gone now. There's a cheer from the crowd as Sean Sharma takes the second wicket. You can argue if that was Morrison. He hadn't bowled too well in that second half of his first spell and didn't really start too well here, but the ball not rising enough and doing the trick as an inside edge onto his stumps, crashing onto his stumps, and Pepper is gone for 68. So the 4th wicket falling for India, falling for Essex, and India getting the breakthrough. It's 169 for 4. We just have to wait and watch the new batsman. Scorecard says James Foster. We'll just wait for confirmation. While waiting for the confirmation, it said Ashwin around 11 times when India were batting, and Ashwin never really came out to bat. After the fall of that last wicket, I'm joined by Ted Davies, who's run back quickly from the BBC office here. How was the run in the sun?
It was nothing for a man of my age. Good Lord, no. I could do it several times, but not today.
What a hero you are.
I was tempted to stay up there because it's a lovely air-conditioned building, you know. So I just saw Pepper get bowled as I came in. Well, he played a good innings, didn't he?
Yes, he was very fluent. 68 well-made runs. 115 minutes. 74 balls. Strike rate of just over 90. You remember, this is
It was nothing for man.
England. The new batsman is indeed James Foster. We have Umesh Yadav starting a new spell from the far end, that is the Hayes end, and it is Rishi Patel who was in strike. This was down the leg, and no run at it. So, what did Porter say in his interview?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, you know, you don't expect them to say anything particularly earth-shattering under these circumstances. Just sort of looking forward to the experience enormously and getting the call from Ed Smith and all that. It must be very exciting for a young lad, because as I pointed out, only last season, admittedly most of the last season before he was playing for Essex, but he played club cricket for Chingford. And indeed last season, I don't know if it was when he was coming back from injury or just because there was a spare week, but he even played club cricket for Chingford last week, you know, so he's an Essex lad, as are most of them, apart from their overseas players. Virtually all the Essex squad, you know, have played club cricket in Essex.
Umesh Yadav this time again straight down on middle and leg, and Rishi Patel just helping it down towards fine leg for a single. Score moves on along now to 174.
And I mean, when you're playing club cricket, you know, probably everybody dreams of playing for England, you know. In my totally misguided way, I thought I was going to open the batting for England, you know, and for 99.9% of people it never happens, but for that odd 0.1% or maybe even fewer, you know, it does come off, so it must be wonderful, really.
We'll wait and see if he gets his maiden cap in what's going to be England's 1000th Test match.
I don't think many people heard that because I didn't have a microphone on, for which I apologise. I have now. I was just saying that Jamie Porter been playing club cricket for Chingford for years and years, and even last year played the odd game either through coming back for injury or just because Essex had a spare week. And everybody, when they start off playing club cricket, they in some ways think, you know, just for a season or two, or maybe I'll play cricket for England one day, but or for whatever country they're playing, of course. But it very rarely comes off.
Umesh Yadav once again to James Foster, again straying down the leg side. It's not been a good over from Umesh Yadav,
no.
this one. 3 out of 4 balls he's straight down the leg side.
Yes. Now Essex have really missed James Foster the last couple of months. He lost his place to Adam Wheater behind the stumps. Went off and did a bit of coaching in Canada for one of these lesser well-known one-day or 2020 tournaments. And there's really nothing to sort of cement the top half of the innings together to the lower part.
Once again, Umesh Yadav to Foster, this time better line, Fuller on the off stump. And not much footwork there from Foster, but he plays it back to the bowler. End of the over with 170 for 4. And
in most terms of the cricket this season, Essex have, they've missed that man coming in at number 7 with Foster's experience, who can sort of blend the top half together with the bottom half of the innings. And there's been as a result of this, Essex have had a long tail in all 3 formats of the game. And any sides playing Essex now, once they get the first 4 or 5, they must think basically, well, we're
just changing his field position. Ishant Sharma just talking with Mohammad Shami. Shardul Thakur also offering his word. The umpire is walking looking to change the ball, I guess. It's just the one umpire though walking towards the pavilion. The other umpire is standing too far back at that long trek to the pavilion.
No, quite. You would know because you were here yesterday, and the scorecard doesn't make it clear, but since this is a glorified friendly, does it finish strictly at 6 o'clock?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, no overs don't come into it. No. That's good news. That's good news.
I mean, they could play more if they wanted.
Yeah. Can you imagine they do? I think
no, not after they cancelled the 4th day.
No, we seem to have run out of water. Here's one that hasn't been opened. No, that hasn't been opened, has it? No.
Yeah.
A
bit of respite for the Indians as well. Just loitering around, stretching. It's been a tough day under the sun. A little bit bowlers get together just in front of us. Ishant Sharma, Shardul Thakur, and Mohammad Shami, Ravindra Jadeja, all having a bit of a chat. Wonder what all bowlers say when they get together. And now they've got a new ball to play with. Sharma looks happy with this one, the shape of this changed ball. Wonder if it will reverse a bit more. Not that we have seen a lot of reverse from India so far, but Ishant Sharma and Mohammad Shami can get the ball to reverse a bit. 2 steps in position as Ishant Sharma is on the top of his mark. This one straight down on the middle leg, and he's helped it along. Hardik Pandya at deep square leg for just a single run. Moves on to 11. The score 171 for 4. In the 43rd over of Essex innings. James Foster still to open.
One of the things I've never been able to understand, and I've been commentating on Essex cricket for 23 seasons and watching cricket and playing cricket for a lot longer than that, is bowlers of all levels, but particularly professional level, will go to a lot of trouble to get the ball to deviate either in the air or off the wicket. And yet when the ball is misshapen, they want it replaced. I would have thought if it was misshapen, it's more likely to deviate either in the air or off the wicket. So I thought they'd be pleased when it's misshapen. And nobody's been able to explain that to me.
Foster, this is a full delivery outside the off stump. He gets a chance to open his arms and drives with aplomb through the cover region, and there is nobody to cut it off. Not much of a chase from Mohammad Shami either, and that's a boundary to open his account. 4 runs for James Foster, 175 for 4. Well, Dick, I'm not really an expert, so can't really say, but the shape of the ball, I would say, is important to a pacer at least. because you have to grip the seam. It has to feel right. I think whether it's batting, or holding a bat, or holding a ball, it's more to do with
just
the
feel of it, I
really.
suppose, yes.
And I mean, if you've been bowling with with an out of shape ball all your life, you would want to bowl with that. But if you're a professional and you want the proper shape, as Sharma runs away from us to Foster, this one back of length on the off stump, dabbed, and a quick single. Ravindra Jadeja running in from cover, but doesn't get there in time. One more run added to Foster, who moves on to 5. Not out. It's 176 for 4.
Do you play this game when the opportunity arises?
Sometimes, but well, covering Indian cricket is a 12 month.
Yes, quite. So you don't.
month.
The opportunity doesn't arise that often. No.
Well, I used to play, or I do play when I'm home for a long stretch, maybe on the weekends. Have a couple of teams. There was this one team. It was a team of journalists. We used to play together. Then a friend of mine, he has his own team. He works in IT. Sharma once again to Rishi Patel. Outside the off stump, bit in the air, cut away to Tony Myers. That is a backward point, but just landing short of him. So Patel is safe. So there's a place on the outskirts of Delhi. It's in the National Capital Region. It's called Gurgaon or Gurugram.
Right.
On the outskirts of that city or sub-city really is where we used to go and play. The name of the ground is Gurugram Oval.
Right.
It's an oval-shaped ground and a huge board, and it says "Welcome to the Gurugram Oval." And that was always nice to see every Sunday. Felt a bit more professional. Sharma to outside the off stump, ball shaping away, but batsman not interested. No runs out there. 126 for 4 still. Like I said, no, not a single cloud. The sun really burning up.
Yes, it is.
We might as well have lost a lot of weight sitting here in Chelsea under the sun. I wonder what the players are going through as well.
Well, the players are certainly fitter than I am, I'm sure.
Me included as well. Sharma running away from bowling to Rishi Patel. 2 slips and waiting. Short delivery this time down the leg side. Oh, I think he got a bit of bat. Or no, the umpire is signaling it's come off the thigh. So that's a leg ball. Still on 11, but the score moves on to 100 and Virat Kohli at second slip, he had a bit of an exclamation.
Well,
yes. He's very expressive on the field. Dinesh Karthik almost got a hand to it. Indians were interested, but the umpire signaled the leg by. That's the end of the over then from Ishant Sharma. 43 overs have been done, and Essex are 177 for 4 in reply to India's 395.
Yes, so it's we've got another hour and about 13 minutes of the day. It's been an interesting day. In fact, it's been very interesting in some stages, and I think probably from the Essex point of view, the most pleasure has been well, seeing Michael Pepper's 68. Definitely, well, nothing is definite in this life, but probably an Essex regular batsman in the making, and maybe in fairly short term as well.
Umesh Yadav continues from the haze. 3 slips in position, comes forward and defends towards mid-on. No run added there.
And then Paul Walter did his chances no harm of getting a recall. Of course, I didn't see much of the Indian batting, only that which took place today.
I was talking about the Indian batting card before you came in, and I've gotten down towards Dinesh Karthik was also a standout batsman. Just 95 balls, 14 fours in there. Umesh Yadav once again to Rishi Patel outside the off, some bit more room for playing his shot, and he's drove it on the up, and will find a boundary to cover. 4 more to the total. He moves on to 15. The score 181 for 4.
Yes, good shot there from young Rishi Patel, only 20 years of age. Plays his club cricket at Brentwood. Quite a big man, and quite a domineering force when he stands at the crease.
Umesh Yadav once again to 2 slips now. This time straying down the leg. There was a position. Back of length. The batsman didn't have to play at it, but tried to get some bat on it. Play and a miss there, so no run added. Just been asked on Twitter is the pitch good for batting or the Indian bowlers bowl poorly? Well, let me just say that Umesh Yadav has bowled really well his first 2 spells. Hardik Pandya gave his all, brilliant spell. 4 slips. Have you ever seen 4 slips to Hardik Pandya? So that's how well he bowled. Umesh Yadav once again back of line, this time only off and middle, and Patel just played it defensively towards mid-on. Shardul Thakur bowled really well in his limited spell. Shami started off well, but needs perhaps needs to really convey that momentum. He's really always fed like a momentum bowler. 10 overs, none for 38 for him. Ishant Sharma strayed a bit in the latter half of his first spell, and also in the second spell, but he's picked up 2 wickets, 2 for 37. Short delivery this time. Patel gets on his back foot. Quick single. No.
Oh,
and that's yes, overthrows as well. Ajinkya Rahane went for stumps, but not enough backing there. So the batsmen are able to cross over for 2 runs. Well fended. Ravindra Jadeja, though, that's most interesting. 2 overs in bowl, none for 17. So, no, Indians haven't bowled poorly. It's just, well, the grass needs to gone because the sun is just simply beating down. Umesh Yadav once again to Rishi Patel. Short delivery once more, and he gets tall on his back foot and plays it past the fielder at leg gully. That was Karun Nair. Mohammad Shami, the fielder, at fine leg, just a single. He moves on to 18. The score is now 185 for 4.
Yeah, so Essex going along quite comfortably. Pretty obviously this game is going to peak right into the draw, and it finishes at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, but in almost every respect the result of the game is of no importance whatsoever. It's a vital practice for both sides.
More for India as Umesh Yadav runs in. This time Deacon James Foster outside the off stump, and he gets that rooted movement that he's got with the new ball so often. Foster plays and misses, and that is the end of over number 44. 185 for 4. Foster not out on 5. Patel 18 not out.
Well, you say more so for India. I suppose in a way it is, because they're looking at a higher level of cricket, they're looking at Test cricket, but on the other hand it's very important for Essex, and from Essex's point of view I think it's come along at an ideal time, because Essex haven't been playing well this season in any version of the game really, and now comes an opportunity when they can experiment, blood, try out, use whatever phrase you like, some of the up and coming young players in a game where they've got very, very good opposition, so they are being tested, but where it doesn't really actually affect anything in any of the 3 versions of the cricket. So I think from Essex's point of view, this match has come along at the absolute perfect time.
Ishant Sharma continuing from the river in 2 slips on that leg gully position. Rishi Patel this time again a little short of that delivery, but straying down the leg side, so Rishi Patel had no problems getting out of the way. Michael Pepper obviously didn't his chances in hand.
None whatsoever.
You talk about India being prepared, trying to prepare actually for Test cricket. So this is a Test quality attack.
Yes.
4 pace. India has
Exactly.
5 pacers, and 3 of them at least will be playing the first Test.
Yes.
We have Ravindra Jadeja. He is a Test quality all-rounder, not just a bowler. As Ishant Sharma runs in. Short ball this time, more effort from Ishant Sharma. Patel gets tall on the back foot and just defends it. So Michael Pepper scored a 90 plus strike rate against a Test bowling 68, I mean 90 plus strike rate.
Oh, I see what you mean. Beg your pardon. Yes, sorry.
68 of 74 balls,
Yes.
75 balls, something like that. So
Yes,
he's done his chances no harm.
None whatsoever. No, and there'll be 1 or 2 of his colleagues, his so-called mates in the dressing room, they'll be making out they're very happy for him, but also they'll be thinking, oh dear. Such is the nature of cricket. You want your colleagues to do well, but maybe not too well.
Well, a competitive dressing room is always good as Ishant Sharma runs in once again. Short delivery, but not rising as sharply as the previous two. But straining down the next side nevertheless. I think Ishant Sharma, in the second half of his first spell, has lost a little control of his line. Straying down middle and leg too often for comfort. And which has resulted in this economy of 5+ so far. He's in his 8th over. 2 for 37 so far. He's going at 5 plus an over, just over 5 runs an over. He's normally somebody who doesn't like to give too many runs.
No.
Under 3 is his economy rate in Test cricket, so it just shows that he's not had that control today.
No.
Sharma once again to Patel, this time again on the middle leg, and he's helped it along nicely towards fine leg. But there is a fielder in the deep. That's Umesh Yadav, and just a single then to get off strike. Patel moves on to 20. 187 for 4.
Yes, just a couple more shaded areas are forming as the clock reaches 5 to 5. As the shadow of the sycamore tree is enlarged a little bit, and the shadow of the executive boxes on the other side of the ground are just encroaching, as well as shadows of a couple of the floodlights. But generally speaking, well over 90%, 98% of the ground is basking in bright and very hot sunshine.
And he's off in position. Ishant Sharma beaten. James Foster, this is the second time he's been beaten in 2 overs. Back of length, outside the off stump, a little bit of room, and that's why he thought he could cut it away. But a play and a miss, so just a not, he's just got a little ball. Not looked very comfortable. Had a good 4, had a good boundary there, cover driven, passed over as well. But in 4 balls that he's faced, he's played and missed twice. It's changing the leg rally for Foster, so they're not trying to bowl shot at him. Ishant Sharma once again running in. This time again, on the middle leg, and he's just stabbed it towards mid-wicket where Ajinkya Rahane is stationed. Fielded, but no run added at the end of the over. That's 186 for 4.
And drinks come on, not for everybody, but to Essex. Rishi Patel, I'm not sure if it is a drink or if it's...
I think he's looking at the blade. No,
the bat.
Yeah,
oh, the bat.
He's trying to get it taped, perhaps the toe of the bat. Get some tape on it.
Yes, I mean, although professional cricketers, and that would probably include Rishi Patel now, and they get literally as many bats provided for them. The manufacturers are queuing up to give them bats, but nevertheless they still have their favourites that they like, and sometimes you see even the greatest test batsmen, with what looks like an old bat that's been taped up and repaired and mended. They can become a very personal thing, a cricket bat.
It's all about the feel, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, the weight and the balance.
Has to feel right. On top of his mark from the haze, and 3 slips in position. And that's edged and taken. Rishi Patel is out. Umesh Yadav with a wicket. Back off line, moving away from the right-hander. He was bowling with the wind. Down the slope as well. Ball moved away. That's nicked off outside edge. And Dinesh Karthik makes no mistake. Regulation catch. And the 5th wicket has fallen. Umesh Yadav gets rewarded. Once again, that's his 2nd wicket, 2 for 19, and Essex now 186 for 5.
That's a very, very straightforward catch. Very, very straightforward decision indeed. The umpire didn't have to make a decision.
Dinesh Karthik makes no
knew
mistake.
He touched it, and as soon as he saw that it was nestling safely in Karthik's gloves, then he tucked his bat under his arm and walked off. So no possible doubt about that one. 186 for 5. So we're down to, well, it'll be interesting to see who comes in next.
Yeah, drinks. The Indian team is walking towards the pavilion. All of them together.
Yes, well, about an hour into the play, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, just about an hour in the play.
4 till 6 o'clock, and Paul Walter comes out to middle to join James Foster. There again, Paul Walter's a man about whom a lot of people have been... we're on different microphones. I think that's what confused the issue. Yeah, so right is left and left is right. Yep, I understand. So we know what we're talking about. So it's Paul Walter about to face his first delivery.
Hello, Dick.
Hello, Stephen.
Well, welcome to listeners to BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. We've joined us after the coverage of the Tour de France, and here comes Umesh Yadav into Paul Walter. It's outside the off stump and left alone by the tall left-hander. I feel like I haven't seen you for a little while. We've been in different places.
We have. Yeah. I popped into the studio for 20 minutes and I said to Cheetah Nose, I was very tempted to stay there in this lovely air-conditioned office. I dragged myself away. Got a glass of iced water as well before I left. I thought I can't leave those two down there on their own.
Yadav again, Walter on the pads. I think about an appeal. The ball is drifting down the leg side. For listeners on Sports Extra, we've been online with BBC Essex throughout the day. We're first exposed to the second day of this tour match between Essex and India a little bit earlier on. India were bowled out for 395 at the beginning of the day on 322 for 6. Essex now find themselves 186 for 5. Nick Brown made 11, Barron 16, again, and Paul Walter defends. Tom Leslie, the captain, 57. Michael Pepper, the youngster in only his second game, made 68. Fine innings before being bowled by Ishant Sharma. Rishi Patel on his Essex debut, 19. And now James Foster, the veteran wicketkeeper, is on 5. And Paul Walter, the tall left-hander, is yet to score. India getting some valuable overs in their legs before that first begins next Wednesday. The fast ball Umesh Yadav is in to bouncer to Walter. It doesn't know much about it and just fends it away to where a silly point would have been. Walter is doing some gardening. We're with you for about another hour here. Play will conclude at 6 o'clock, and then from 7 o'clock on Sports Section, Rugby League, St Helens against the Warrington Wolves. As you would expect, course, you know around the UK it's been blisteringly hot in most places. Just the same here at Chelmsford, where there's not really a cloud in the sky. It's been rocket hot all day. We're now just getting a little bit of a breeze. You can tell the sun is just dipping that little bit lower because shadows are being cast left to right. And Yadav falls again to Walter. It's another short ball. Walter plays this one much better, guiding the ball down into the gully region. It's the end of the over. Essex are 186 for 5 in reply to India's 395.
Yes, there is a little bit of a breeze getting up, as we've referred to quite a few times. There's a big sycamore tree on the far side of the ground, which must be about 10, 20, 30, 40, somewhere between 50 and 60 feet tall, and the top of that is waving around enough to show that there is a significant breeze. Just looking for flags. I don't see any flags being flown anywhere. The Essex flag isn't being flown, and neither is the Indian one. So we'll go by the tree to judge the force of the breeze or otherwise.
2 slips for James Foster. Ishant Sharma goes padding in towards him. That's a straight delivery. The veteran wicketkeeper just turns the ball onto the onside. There's no run. 2 slips, a point, a cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, and 2 men back. Deep backward square leg and the long leg. There's 1 day of this match remaining. It was originally scheduled for 4 days. It was put to 3 at the request of the BCCI. We'll be online throughout tomorrow. We'll be popping onto 5 Live Sports Extra either side of things like Formula 1, the Tour de France and the women's KSL. Ishant Sharma inspects the ball. It's in his right hand. He's got tight bandages on both elbows and a sweatband on his left wrist. He bowls now. Foster half-heartedly drives up to mid-off. There's no run. The ball on his right thigh. Impressive little spin today, Dick. It's the pace ball that can get
Yes, very, very little. I don't think we saw any Essex spin this morning. Not that they have many spin options. In fact, looking down the list, they don't really have any spin options. It's occurred to me. From Lee John, yes, but I didn't think he bowled very much.
Ishant bowls, that's outside Foster's off stump and left alone. Score remains 186 for 5.
Yes, I must admit I was looking forward to seeing who is it, Kuldeep Yadav bowl, because he had a spectacular time in the recent one-day series.
There's only 2 overs of spin from India so far this afternoon. Ravi Jadeja's left armers. They cost 17 runs. Apart from that, it's been pace all the way. Shami, Umesh Yadav, Hardik Pandya and Shardil Thakur. Ishant at the river end, running away from the water and into Foster, drives up to mid-on, and once again there is no run. That's a familiar batting stance. It's behind the arm bar that we're so used to seeing him wear when he bats. Shortish figure. He's down the track now. Just spot that's taken his eye. He's on his back. He just scrapes at his guard with his right boot. Then he adjusts the peak of his helmet with his left hand and settles into his stance. Twice, and then once more as Ishant sets off on his journey, heels kicking up behind him. He bowls now to Foster. That's hit Foster on the pad. There's an appeal for LBW. Ishant's begging for it, but it's turned down. Ishant turns to the keeper and the 2 slips as if to say, what on earth was wrong with that?
Yes. Indeed.
It looked like maybe there was a potential drifting down the leg side. I think if this was a test match, DRS may now be coming into play.
I'm sure they would have asked for it. He's asking the umpire Nick Cook. Now, in these situations, the umpire Nick Cook can explain why he didn't give it out, or he can say, just get, I'll do my job, you do yours, get on with it. I would imagine Nick Cook being a bit of a gentleman. Probably explained why he didn't give it out. But what I'm saying is he's not obliged to.
Disappointed Ishant. He's got a goatee beard and slick back dark hair. Tries once more to James Foster, short outside the off stump, Foster prods indeterminately and the ball goes past the inside edge in between back and pass to complete the over, an over where India thought they should have had success. As it is, James Foster survives. It's 186 Foster has 5. Paul Walter is yet to get off the mark.
And James Foster, yes, this is his first game for a month or more, probably nearer 2 months for Essex. He was dropped or been away or been rested, and then he was in Canada. But, I was thinking, I mean, he's been playing many years for Essex, still one of the best keepers on the circuit. I think it's probably no exaggeration to say that amongst the crowds and the fans, he's probably commanded the most respect amongst fans since probably the days of playing Booch.
Umesh Yadav to begin a new over to Walter, who drives very handsomely up to mid-off, but there's a fielder there and there's no run. James Foster been honoured in any way for his service here, and what I'm thinking here is a stand, maybe a room in the pavilion, the James Foster coat peg in the changing room.
Oh, maybe, yes, but no, nothing named after him as yet, but well, yes, of course, Essex have produced a lot more than several good players over the years. Enough gongs to go around.
Bowls, and Walter, 22 on his back, defends comfortably up to mid-off. He's got a lot of company at the moment, Paul Walter, in the shape of close catchers. 3 slips, a leg gully and a short leg. On top of that there's a point, a mid-off, a mid-on, and a long leg.
He's also one of these players that commands respect not just of the fans, but he very impressively commands the respect of all the players on the county circuit. He's one of those sort of people.
Umesh bowls short outside the off stomp, and Walter raises his hand to let the ball go through to the wicket. The score remains 186 for 5.
He doesn't cause or create controversy. He's just very good at what he does, and very affable, amiable. Everybody seems to like him. Nobody's ever had a bad word for James Foster. He's always happy to talk to the fans, the crowd. Brings his wife and 3 daughters and just an all-round good egg and a very good wicketkeeper still.
Got his hand on his hip at the non-striker's end as Yadav bowl. That's clipped very fine for 4 by Paul Walter. That has scooted to the final boundary to get Walter off the mark. The score moves to 190 for 5.
Yeah, so we've seen 260 runs for today. No, 270 runs today. The Indians added 73 this morning, and so 263 runs scored today with another 50 minutes or so.
It's been enjoyable stuff, and I was thinking when I was wandering around the field, so many spectators gathered behind the Tom Pearce stand. I was wondering how many Yadav bowls once more to Walter. Vicious bounce to Walter as well to sway out to the Wales. Yeah, I was thinking how pleasant it was. So many spectators have turned up to now what is essentially a friendly.
Yes.
The crowd has been healthy for the first 2 days of the game. It started to thin out a little now. I was just at the back of the commentary box on the phone before, and I saw some spectators just filing out near the river. I look towards my left, and the seats, the right seats are uncovered. There's only a handful of spectators left sitting in those. Umesh Yadav once more. Walter defends with no great foot movement back to the bowler. That's the end of the over. Essex have moved on to 195. Foster has 5. Walter 4. Essex are 205 runs behind India.
Yes, and there's understandably a lot of Indian supporters supporting the Indian team. I mean, Chelmsford is half an hour at the most from London, from Liverpool Street, so it's easy to get to from the East End or anywhere in London, so I'm sure a lot of people have done the train and come down to Chelmsford, and from Chelmsford Station it's a 3-minute walk, something like that. And so yes, and a lot of home supporters have come to see the Indians as well. I mean, one of the knock-on advantages of the media covering games, you'll hear about these names, or you'll see them on television, or you'll see their names in the newspapers. It's nice to see them in the flesh.
James Foster, 2 slips in place. Foster gets very low to the ball to defend into the offside. The fielder collects the ball.
And I think also, obviously it didn't apply today, but I think, you know, just the very name Virat Kohli, you know, brings people in. There aren't too many names nowadays like there used to be, which will actually guarantee people, well, I must go and watch a game because so-and-so will be playing. But Virat Kohli is one of those who does attract crowds, and so he should. Arguably the best batsman in the world.
Siren goes by behind us. They have done with regularity throughout the day. Sharma casting a shadow to the gallant pace as he runs into James Foster. Jams down on a ball that threatens to keep a little low into the onside, and there's no run. Hardik Pandya, under his white floppy sun hat, the mid-on fielder, is just going through some rather vigorous loosening exercises, so he may be about to get another spell. Keeping conversation with the fielder who's vigorously shining the ball on his right side. Pandya behind some red reflective sunglasses, underarms above the bowler, tall figure, a streak of red on the front of his trousers and one on the back of his right thigh. Bowls, and Foster once more defends with a bent front knee. Score remains 190 for 5.
Yes, and just begins to show why the Essex team and the Essex fans have missed him so much. Just such a useful man to come in at number 7.
James Foster, he's seen it all before.
Oh yes.
A friendly match against the Tories won't get him too flustered.
No.
His shadow is now across the pitch, almost on a wide half volley length. He's leaning forward, crouching in the front, the right arm over bowls, and once more James Foster with that very solid forward defensive stroke.
And also Foster's probably got to that very nice situation that professional cricketers, or some professional cricketers, find themselves in as much as they can now. James Foster's basically just playing for fun. He knows he's in the twilight of his career. He's got coaching jobs lined up, he's got teaching jobs lined up. As I say, he's got a wife and 3 daughters, so he's got plenty of other things in his life, all of which are probably more important than actually playing cricket for Essex at this stage in his career. So a very nice situation to be in, and it means that now he can just play for while he originally played cricket, which is for fun.
Always towards Foster. It's a short ball. Foster tries to full stroke. The ball doesn't really bounce high enough, and it goes through to the on the second bounce. Ishant just walks back towards the umpire, inquiring about how many deliveries remaining in the over. Just the one.
And I think all professional, sportsmen generally, in most sports, are so very lucky. In most sports, or most high-profile sports, they're extremely well paid, and they've converted their hobby into their livelihood. You know, whether they're cricketers, footballers, hockey players, tennis players, originally they played it for fun, and they then discover, or gradually it dawns on them, I'm really quite good at this, I could make a very good living out of it. So, you know, why shouldn't they have fun? It's what life's all about.
Ishant once more to complete the over. That's down the left side. Foster looking to play a rather expansive stroke at this side, but gets no back on it. Just hits the padded front leg. Essex take a leg by and end the over on 191 for 5. Paul Walter has 4. Ishant Sharma 2 for 38 from his 10 overs, and there's around about 45 minutes of play remaining in the day.
Paul Walter, on the other hand, has to adopt a completely different approach. He was in the spring of his career, or maybe not even fully got into it yet, and he is battling to become a regular county cricketer, and the lifestyle that goes with it. So he and James Foster are now out there battling with a very different mindset about the whole thing, although both determined to get runs.
There's going to be a change in the bowling. As we suspected, Hardik Pandya was getting loose during the last over, and now he's going to have a little trundle from the Hayes close end. As the breeze blows in our direction from the far end of the ground, bringing welcome relief to all around Chelmsford. Panja shines the ball on his left leg and has a short step run up before long strides and into Foster. That's outside the off stump and left alone for new bowler Panja. There are 3 slips, a point, a cover, a mid-off, a mid-on and mid-wicket. I think there's a long leg. If I get out of my chair to check, there is. Clapping of the hands comes from the slips. Second slip, Virat Kohli, the India captain, who's crouching with his hands on his knees and a blue cap on his head as Panja bowls, and Foster, the number 7, just pushes the ball into the onside and there's no run. You with us tomorrow, Dick?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I was originally meant to be, and then it was put to Paul Newton, who is coming tomorrow. It was put to both of us that, you know, if either of us wanted the day off, then we could, provided that there's going to be cover anyways. So if you and Cheetah are both here tomorrow,
Panja bowls, Foster edges all along the ground to third.